you was looking at my notes, and I've just come in this room, and you're saying you don't know nothing about me, and I've got to start all over again and tell you what's happening, which is a bit puzzling because I was told at reception that the doctor's reading your notes to get familiarised with what's going on, and I've just come in here to see you, and you told me that you're not seeing my notes at all, and that I have to tell you from scratch.
When you go into the triage area, you give a rough, small idea of what's going on with you. Right.
Yeah.
So
my point is I've just been lied to in A&E there.
Yeah. So
because I was told that the doctor was looking at my notes before I come in to see you.
No.
But you haven't seen any of my notes.
No.
Well, that's crazy.
I have to get your story first.
Yeah.
First, I have to know what's going on with you because I need to get a full examination of you.
Yeah, of course, doctor.
And I have to make sure everything's okay with you. And then I have to go check because it'll put if.
Yeah, but what it is, right? When I saw the doctor earlier on, like 8 hours ago, or whatever it was, 7 hours ago, right? I gave him all that information. And that should be on computer for you to read, and you're saying that you haven't seen it, and I've got to go through this all over again. So I've been lied to in reception, haven't I? Because you haven't read my notes. That's crazy.
So I'll go back after seeing everything to check on your old notes. Because I'll give you an example. So the triage, when they take a rough history of, they'll tell, okay, I'm here because of you said I was spitting blood.
Yeah. So I've been in the hospital for a whole week, so that should be all on record.
That should be on the notes.
I expected when I come to see you, you'd already read the notes and knew what was happening.
Because from the time I come, I keep seeing patients.
Of course.
As soon as I finish with the patients, I won't sit for another 40 minutes reading your notes. I'll come see you, assess you, and then go see if I need to see the notes or not. Because otherwise I'm wasting no time. Because then I would have come see you another 2 hours in try to go through everything.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is I got told that a doctor was reading my notes before I went in. That's the fact. I was just like a bit puzzled that it's not like that at all. Right, so I've been in hospital all week.
You had antibiotics. You got scans.
Got scans and everything. They couldn't figure out what's going on. I've been telling them all along that I had an operation last year for an infection that started in my teeth, but because of lockdown, I couldn't get to a dentist to get my teeth out, so I pulled my own teeth out. But there's one tooth that I couldn't get out. Yeah. So this infection has been going since 2020, right? Right. 2020. This infection has been going on. 5 years I've had this infection for, right? On and off. It keeps coming back, and I get the antibiotics, and it keeps coming back. Well, you have the sputum sample, so I don't know. But it's really dark green, almost luminous. It's not snot, it's poison. You can smell it. It smells like a dead rat's run up my nose, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this infection had started because I couldn't get my teeth out, and it spread to my sinuses. And then from my sinuses, it spread to the back of my eye and into my ear. So now I'm partially deaf in this ear, and I'm a damn sight blind. I've had to have 3 new sets of glasses since 2020 because it's caused damage to my eye as well. It had got as far as my brain barrier, and that's when they scanned me. After 3.5 years, they scanned me. And there was a big black patch where my sinuses are supposed to be, which was full of this poison. So I had the operation and removed it all, came out of hospital, and then it carried on persisting, this infection. Literally about 2 months after the operation. And it has been going on ever since, and I keep going to the doctors and they keep giving me antibiotics and nothing's happening. And then, for this last year, I've started to cough up bits of blood and stuff.
Which has been going for half a year, is it?
Coughing up blood. Speckles of it. So I've been in the hospital 3 times now with coughing up blood, right? And on last Friday I started coughing up blood, and then it started pouring out of me like someone had just cut one of my veins, right? So I'm nearly drowning in reception here with my own blood, right? They get me through anyway, sort me out, get me on a ward. They give me these tablets which thicken my blood up, right? To stop the bleeding, right? And and they give me these antibiotics which I've been taking at the hospital here while I've been on the ward, on ward 43, right? But I get home, I start doing a bit of hoovering up, and then all this green stuff started coming out my nose again.
Phlegm?
No, no, not phlegm, poison, like whatever it is. You haven't tested it yet, so.
Is it dark green?
Yeah, it's like a really dark, almost a luminous green. You know what I mean? And it's like got the texture of an egg yolk. Yeah. So anyway, so they stopped the bleeding, and then give me a scan. First of all, a scan on my chest, and then they do one of them where they put a dye in you.
Yeah. So that's the scan I was asking.
And then they did. I had to put camera down my lungs.
They did that as well. Okay.
Yeah. So like then they found like congealed blood within my lungs. They had to flush my lungs out. Right.
Right.
So and then. And then I'm back on the ward. I get released. There's no bleeding going on now, and there was no mucus. I got home. I start doing a bit of bending over and hoovering up, and this green stuff starts coming out. Again, I'm thinking, right, if I've been in the hospital for a whole week and been on these antibiotics and the green stuff's still coming out, obviously the antibiotics aren't working. So I need to come back to hospital. So we're literally within 2 hours of me being released from hospital, I'm back here again. This is tonight. Because obviously these antibiotics aren't working. I don't want to get to the stage where I start bleeding again, right? Because they say my lungs are fine. They're now saying because of this infection in the gums, something might have popped, or the infection, or the infection's eating through. Yeah, something's popped and it's going down my windpipe into my lungs. Right. This is where the conclusion they've come to so far.
When they discharged you?
Yeah, today. Yeah. So now, because the green stuff's coming back, come back to hospital to give you a sputum sample, to test the sample, to match the antibiotics that are going to kill whatever is inside my nose. So like here we are now. I've been told that you're examining and you'll have the results of my sputum test and my blood test, and you're saying no, we haven't even read anything about it yet.
Yes.
So that's shocking me for a starter. So I've just spent like 6, 7, 8, 9, nearly 10 hours here, and the person I'm talking to hasn't got a clue what's going on with me. And I expected, like when I come in to see you, that you'd have a clue. You just explained to me that you go and you talk to me first and then do that. But I'm only repeating what I've already told them that they took notes for. So what I'm now thinking is, well, why did I even bother having to tell them when I've got to tell you the same thing? I thought I was telling them so they could put it on the notes and you could read it and then things would get sorted from there.
No, they just put like a 1 or 2 lines.
Right. So I've been lied to, basically. I've been lied to. Simple as that. So like I was expecting when I come in here to see you now, 10 hours later, that you'd have the results for the infection and be able to maybe swap these antibiotics for some that are going to actually kill the infection that I've got. And we're not at that point, are we?
Sputum culture usually takes 72 hours, which is 3 days
for
the bugs to grow.
Yeah.
They put it in a sterile culture. They want to see what grows. So I can do 2 things for you.
Yeah.
So what I can do is I will check your old notes to see what antibiotics they've given you in the hospital.
Yeah, well, they're here now. I've got them.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know doxycycline. So what I'll do is, if I can check what antibiotics are given in the hospital, and I can see if that is different from this one. So if it's different, then continue taking this because.
No, these are the antibiotics that they've been giving me while I've been in hospital.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
It's the same one, yeah.
How many doses do you have left?
1, 2, 4 more days. But the thing is, this is the thing, doctor. Because of all the bleeding and that, it had cleared all the green pus out. Because obviously something's gone pop. But listen to me, I've been on these for a whole week now, right? And I've got 4 days left. And it wasn't there, and it's come back while I've been on these. So that says to me that these antibiotics aren't working, and that maybe you need to look at the sputum and get the results for that, so you can give me maybe the antibiotics that are going to fight the infection that I've got. You understand where I'm coming
Yeah,
from?
yeah, fair enough.
So I'm just a bit confused as to where we're here now like this.
Your bloods show that you don't have any infection, so that's a
Yeah.
good thing. So if whatever infection you had has
All
gotten
right.
cleared, I'll check your bloods today.
Yeah.
Finish that.
So you have read my notes on my blood then?
No. I just saw your bloods. I usually see my patient's bloods before I come.
Right. Yeah.
Because I need to see how A&E is not like the other wards, so I have to see how serious my patient is.
Yeah.
So I see your observations, your bloods, and then I'll come talk to you. Observations in the sense your blood pressure, your pulse, and those stuff.
Ah, right. Not the lab test part of it.
No.
Right. I get you. Yeah.
And sputum culture takes around, any culture takes 72 hours minimum, 3 days to grow, whatever. Because it could be bacteria, it could be virus.
Yeah.
So it takes about 3 days for that to sort it out.
Right.
So don't stop the antibiotics, finish it off anyways, because you're already on a dose. So what if you stop the bacteria, if the antibiotics midway would do is it'll make whatever bug you already have resistant to this as well, so you are just making it stronger.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've been taking these, I haven't stopped taking them, and the infections come back while I've been taking them. Do you get me now?
I understand what you're saying, but
so I was thinking like, well, if they're not working, then surely, obviously it's going to take a bit of time for that to go through, you know what I mean, for you to find out what the infection is. I get that now, you've explained that to me.
Yeah, finish the course, regardless.
Regardless whether they're working or not, which they're not.
Yeah, just finish the
Take
course.
them anyway.
I think that's working, because whatever infection
but it can't
you
be because I didn't
away.
have it there and now I have got it there again. You don't understand?
No, I get that, but I'm thinking if it is more of one of your sinuses just cleared up and that's where the phlegm is coming from.
It's always been this sinus on the right hand side of my face. It's always been this sinus. So.
Are you having any cough, fever, or anything of the sort?
No, I don't know. I'm feeling a bit hot. Well, that's about it. But you said like that you've already seen my blood test and that there's no infection in the blood test.
Doesn't seem to be having any infection.
Doesn't seem to be, or there isn't.
There isn't.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to be as precise as I can with the answers and that. So what do you advise now then?
I'm going to have a quick look at your notes, because if you're still having this discharge, I just need to know what the ward people have written when you were discharged, because they should have put something in why you're being discharged, if everything's clear.
Well,
and I have to look at his scans.
Yeah, but I gave him a sputum thing on the ward about 3 days ago, but the infection wasn't really there then, but it's come back now. It's here now. Do you know what I mean? So it's obviously...
You're saying the old one wouldn't have, but the new one...
Sorry?
The old sputum culture came back clear. You didn't have any
infection. No, I don't know. I don't know what it came back, because no one ever told me the results of the sputum test that I gave in the first place.
Right.
I just presumed that they'd tested it and was like, oh, this antibiotic that we're going to give him will work, but obviously it isn't, because it's coming back. My face is throbbing. It feels, you know what I mean? It hurt, like just throbbed like I've got an infection, like it has done for the last nearly 3.5, 4 years. Like,
if you go there, so could you have a...
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll stick some up here. Do you have something? Not better.
The sink?
No. So that's quite clear actually, that one, but it's not coming out bright green. But in the sputum test that I'll give you, it is green. It's like luminous looking, like it's in the tub. So, but yeah. Oh. Right.
Can you take your glass off for a quick second?
Right. With my prescription glasses. No. Are they just in your way?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
How's that?
That's fine.
That's fine. How's that?
Yeah, you can feel. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's
hurting?
Yeah.
How bad is it hurting? Is it tender or
is it
not
sore? Very bad.
It's sore.
Not very bad, but the infection is coming back, and I can feel it coming back. It's like it like throbs on and off. Do you know what I mean?
Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Say Put it on the phone. Put it on the phone, please.
Right, so I've got a bit of a swelling in my gum here, right, where that teeth's missing. When I came out of the operating theatre, the next day when the surgeon came to see me last year, he said the first thing you need to do is get this tooth out, because that was probably not helping with the infection coming. But since the lockdown, they've now privatised every single dentist in Darlington, apart from one, and you just, you're talking 8-9 months.
Yeah, I can imagine.
To get an appointment with them. I've not been able to get one in a year and a half. So now the infection's coming back. The tooth hasn't been taken out, and it's just
a cycle.
Yeah, it's just an ongoing cycle that's been going on for 5 years now.
Can you take a deep breath in?
Yeah, there's no problems there. My lungs have been flushed just 2 days ago.
Seems clear. Your sinuses seem all right as well. Just a bit of soreness over there.
Right,
so that's been bad.
Yeah, but I'm a patient. I'm telling you, I'm getting I'm getting a throbbing sensation in that sinus that I've been at. I've had for 5 years. Whatever went pop and loads of blood come out the other day and nearly drowned me. Obviously, it's flushed the poison out too. But I'm now having to take tablets that thicken my blood so I don't bleed to death, while they carry on trying to find out what's going on with me. They said they're going to send me outpatients.
ENT.
Yeah, to get it checked out. But like I say, as soon as I see that green stuff, I thought, well, I'm not waiting a few weeks and letting this get bad again, as bad enough to start making me bleed. You've stopped the bleeding. I need to come and see you, because obviously these I'm sorry, I'm so tired. I am so tired. I can't get the words out properly.
That's right. You're going to take it.
The antibiotics. I thought, well, if that infection's coming back, then the antibiotics that you're giving me obviously aren't working. So if I come here, give you a sputum test, and that goes through the lab, and then maybe you can find out what kind of infection it is and get me the right.
Usually, what happens is if your sputum grows whatever kinds of organism. What they'll do is the hospital will give you a call and ask you to come and get the antibiotics for them.
Right.
That's what usually happens.
Right. Okay.
And also, please don't skip the ENT outpatient appointment.
No, I won't. I never will. Well, no way, mate. There's a chance actually. Look, you know yourself, if you have a tooth infection that leads to your gums, that can turn into septicemia and kill you, can't it? Yeah, yes it can, I know it can, I've looked it all up. And I know this through looking at like wildlife programs where they're looking after monkeys and chimpanzees, and if they get a tooth infection in any of these places, you have to remove it straight away, because if you don't, it can get infected, your gums, that can then lead to your sinuses, that can then lead to a third. What do they call them? Like a third infection. So it can travel to your heart, can't it? The same as it's travelled to my ear.
Any infection in the blood could travel all over.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. So what am I doing now then? What do you suggest to do? Go home?
Because if you want me to give you antibiotics.
Well, no, I don't want you to. I'd rather find out what the infection is. Yeah.
So I think the best thing you do is I'll put it in the notes. So most probably, if there's any growth, they'll ring you up. They'll call you. Or I don't think they might. They'll call you and then tell your GP to prescribe the new antibiotic to you.
Right.
That's what.
Right.
But if there's no growth, you won't get a call.
Right.
So that's why I want you to go to your ENT outpatient appointment.
Yeah, I'm going to do that anyway. But because the infection's coming back, I just thought, right, I need to get here straight away. Give you the sample so you can get that in the lab and find out what's going on. Because all the time I've been in the ward, it's been clear. It was only literally till I got home, started doing some hoovering up, bending forward, It all started coming out of my nose.
Sounds like a sinusitis.
Yeah. Right. It's not been solved in 5 years now. Yeah. So that's it then. Am I getting released and I'm going home?
Yeah.
Right. Got it. Right.
Keep up with the appointment. I'll put in the notes so if there's any growth,
Yeah.
we'll make them call you GP and put antibiotics.
Well, I'm a bit disappointed. I was lied to. I was told that the doctor was in there reading my notes right now. But when I go in, I've just come in and seen you, and you've not read my notes. You don't know anything about my case. I've just had to go over what I went over with these guys at 6 o'clock yesterday.
If you see any doctor, you have to tell them the whole history from top to bottom.
I've wasted how many hours here? Oh my God. Right. Thank you very much anyway for nothing. No, I'm not sorted. Well, I don't know. You said that he had read my notes. He was reading my notes. Well, when I just went in there, he's just told me that he hasn't read my notes yet. He's just told me that he hasn't even read my notes. He doesn't know nothing about me.
So the thing is...
So what's that all about?
Nobody would have read your notes for tonight. You know what you've come in.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't. He's just said that.
Well, why would he say it if he wasn't reading your notes?
Because he's just wanted me to fucking explain it all to him now.
So...
And he just said, oh, carry on with the antibiotics. Right? Carry on with the antibiotics. I said, well, I was told that my blood was getting tested and that the sputum was getting tested, and the doctor would read the notes tonight and they'd find out which antibiotics I actually should be on for killing this infection that I've got. Right? Oh no, I don't know anything about it. Tell me what's happened. So I've just had to re-go over absolutely everything. I've had to go up to absolutely everything with him again. And he's just basically said, right, well, just go home and carry on taking the antibiotics that don't work. Okay, I'm going home now. It's fucking mental, absolutely mental. Take it easy, mate. Hey. Fucking bollocks, mate. What a crock of fucking shit! What a crock of bollocks!